Say it with me. People don't just vanish after crashing their car. Except in this case, he did. And that's not even the scariest part. He was literally on the phone with his parents after crashing his car in the middle of the night, waiting for them to come and pick him up. And in the distance, he sees lights, which he thinks is a nearby town. But it wasn't. And when his parents come to the exact spot that he said he was, they couldn't see him and he couldn't see them. Then suddenly he yelled, "Oh shit," before the line went silent. And then he disappeared off the face of the earth. This is the mysterious disappearance of Brandon Swanson. It is extremely unsettling and still unsolved, so let's talk about it. Brandon Swanson was a 19-year-old college student who disappeared on May 14th, 2008. He lived in Marshall, Minnesota, and was described as incredibly smart and reliable for his age. Brandon was studying wind turbines at Minnesota West Community and Technical College at the Canby campus, and on May 14th, 2008, classes at Minnesota West ended for the academic year. So to celebrate, Brandon and a bunch of his friends/classmates all partied and had a good time. That evening, Brandon stayed in Canby and went to 2 separate parties in which he drank some alcohol. His friend said that although he was seen drinking, he didn't seem drunk or anything. Just before midnight, Brandon decided to drive back home to Marshall, so off he went, driving the 30 miles back home. He grew up in this area and knew it like the back of his hand, and usually he would have taken Minnesota State Highway 68 to get home. This was the most direct route between Canby and Marshall, but for some reason that night, Brandon decided to take the back roads home, so this put him on some pretty remote farm roads. It seems like he did this to possibly avoid getting pulled over on the main road, but that has never been proven, just kind of my input on why he might have chosen to take the back roads that night, which he wasn't used to. But Brandon never made it home, and what happened after this has never been explained. At around 2 a.m., he called his parents and told them that he had crashed his car into a ditch and wasn't able to push it out. He said he was okay, but asked them if they could come and pick him up, and of course they said yes. As they were driving to Brandon, they kept him on the phone, and since this was a remote area, sometimes the call would drop, so they'd have to call back. But eventually they drove to where they thought Brandon was, and to make it easier to find him, Brandon stayed with his car and started flashing his headlights to get their attention and signal them. What's strange though is that even though his parents were at the location that Brandon said he was at, they couldn't see him and he couldn't see them. After a while, Brandon got tired of waiting and told his parents that he was going to leave his car and walk towards some lights that he could see off in the distance. Brandon thought the lights he was seeing was the small town of Lind, which is roughly 7 miles from Marshall. The lights didn't seem that far away, and this worked out perfectly because he had a friend who lived in Lind, so he decided to just start walking towards the lights. He told his dad to go to the parking lot of this really popular bar in town and wait for him, so they did, all while staying on the phone with him. As he was walking, Brandon told his parents that he was going to cut across a field as a shortcut, and that he could now hear water nearby and was passing some fences. So 2:30 in the morning hits, and this is now 47 minutes into the phone call with his parents. This is when Brandon suddenly yelled, quote, "Oh shit," end quote. And after